This brand crossed 7 figures in annual revenue profitably, and they hit that milestone on Thanksgiving Day, at home with family, popping a bottle of champagne. But what makes the story interesting isn't just a milestone. Meet Ryan, founder of Peaky Hat.
And ideas are awesome, but execution is worshipped.
When we first started working together, nothing was necessarily broken. The brand was strong, the product was dialed, and demand was there. But as Ryan put it, they already had the sports car, they just need the right driver.
From an onboarding perspective, I think we all came to the realization right away that we already kind of had a sports car, we just needed a driver. We weren't trying to build something new that didn't exist.
And in this interview, Ryan breaks down how everything came together heading into Black Friday, why execution matters more than ideas, and how the right partnership with TVG helps Peaky Hat reach that $1 million milestone way ahead of schedule.
So for me to hit a milestone that was that meaningful to me on a day that is focused on giving thanks, couldn't have been a better moment. Name's Ryan Miller, owner of Peaky Hat. We are 100% online retail at this point, looking to open up storefront in 2026. We've had increasing demand to do that, but it's pretty straightforward and pretty simple as far as the brand is concerned. We sell traditional newsboy caps and flat caps, really kind of honoring and paying homage to the old school legacy style of the cap, but doing it in a very modern approach with a fit that meets the needs of the 2025 cap enthusiasts, so to speak.
Yeah.
And we have basically 3 pillars to our approach. The first one is we're going to constantly work on improving the quality of the cap without sacrificing cost. So really what that boils down to, we think that having a really nice quality cap shouldn't outprice the working class and the blue collar folks, not just in the US, but across the world. We refuse to sell caps over $100, right? We're not a premium brand, premium caps, but not a premium brand.
Yeah.
The second one, we really want to focus on providing the absolute best experience possible, any touch point that our customers have throughout the day. So whether that's through discovery, making the purchase, opening the box, all the way to repeat, and the email communication that we send out, we want to make sure it's the best experience that they have. Life's a bitch sometimes. Buying a cap shouldn't be.
How long? Yeah, sorry to cut you off. Keep going.
Yeah, and then the third one is we want to build a brand that my partners, my family, and our customers can be proud to support, which really just boils down to choosing the harder right over the easier wrong every step of the way.
Love it. Yeah, no, you're definitely one of the most intentional founders I think we work with, and you really, focus on the product quality and the community that you're building. And so, I think you've been, a great partner to work with, just because when we have partners that are truly caring, trying to make the highest quality product, it makes our life that much easier when we're trying to market something. So, awesome.
We genuinely care, right? I think it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
I've always been a believer, if I'm going to put my name on something, I better be proud of what it is, because when somebody looks at it, they're not just saying, hey, this is a cap from Peaky Hat. They're saying, who designed this, and are they proud of what they did? Because they're putting it out in the masses.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to genuinely care about anything and everything that goes out the door.
For sure.
Put your name on it.
For sure. Honestly, one thing too, that I've noticed about brands like yourself that have a very high quality product is that, the product can help with the retention. And what I mean by that is yes, we do all the tactics of trying to do email, SMS, and maximize lifetime value and all that stuff. But sometimes, simply having an excellent product will just, make customers fall in love with it and buy more. And that's definitely, one thing I've noticed about your brand specifically is it doesn't feel like we're, trying to pull teeth to get, multiple sales or get customers back, which is awesome. So, we've been working with you for the last few months. I think I checked, there's just shy, I think 3 months now, kind of through the whole Q4 hustle and bustle. And I'm sure that was an interesting time to make that transition as we head into the Black Friday, Cyber Monday period. Tell me more about, I guess let's go back to those first initial conversations. What made you interested in our approach, and why'd you first book that call?
Yeah, and I'll be completely candid, right? Like I've gone through a handful of different agencies that handle email communication. The biggest challenge for me, I had an ads team that was really successful prior to making the move and making that call. My one of my biggest challenges, which is I think a challenge for any small business today, is that you have to have content left and right. Like
Mhm.
there's never too much content in today's world. You have to have fresh content, it has to be ongoing. You have to have content for email, you have to have content for organic social, you have to have content for paid advertising, and that's just a couple of them. There's even more
Yeah.
buckets that those fill into. It was really difficult for me to keep up on content and to keep up on email design in itself. In the previous email agencies that I worked with, I just never felt like we were hitting the mark.
Hmm.
And it's a really difficult ask. I'm asking that anybody that we work with that we strive to be the best in the industry. You know,
Yeah.
you can either be an industry leader, you can be a fast follower, or an industry laggard in any of those areas. When it came to email marketing and communication, we have a very direct approach in terms of what we want to do. We want to be very authentic, we want to be very genuine, we want to be very transparent. And from an imagery perspective, we want to portray an accurate depiction of the lifestyle that not only we lead, but that we believe our customers do so that they
Hmm.
can resonate with us. And previously, from a design, I just never felt like we were hitting that mark 100% and that there was opportunity to improve. So you combine opportunity to improve on the design, opportunities to improve on the technical nature of what our Klaviyo account was so that we were efficient and optimized from a send perspective, and then the dramatic need for content creation. The conversations that we had early on started to kind of hit those buckets. And so the
Yeah.
hardest thing for me to do was to leave an ad agency that was performing really well. But to be able to bring those capabilities under one relationship helps me as a business owner because as we grow, I'm getting stretched thin and
Yeah.
thinner and thinner and thinner. And so having an agency where we could tick a lot of boxes across channels that need synergy made a lot of sense. And I know it's only 3 months in, but I believe that decision was the right decision.
Awesome. No, I'm very happy to hear that. And we're in our initial conversations, you went through the audit process. We were able to, sit down, do that audit for you, hand over our, 2 cents on things. What were your thoughts on that process? Like, was that audit helpful for you? Were you able to get some clarity, as well as kind of maybe even confirm some of the things that, you were thinking internally?
Yeah, it's any audits are good, right? Because it's an opportunity to have a second set of eyes or a third set of eyes or a fourth set of eyes on your information. And the reality is, and I think you kind of called this out, I'm very hands-on. I
Yeah.
have a pretty deep experience in a lot of these areas, so I have more than a fundamental understanding of the capabilities that we've been discussing. And
Hmm.
so when we go through an audit, for me, it's actually twofold. One, is there something I'm missing?
Yeah.
Because I'd be naive to think that I have a pulse on everything. But two, there are things that I would expect to hear from you. And if I
Hmm.
don't, then you're probably not the right fit, right? And so it's also a little bit of a test, like in
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
strange
Yeah.
way, like it is. It's kind of testing what are your chops like? Are you seeing what I'm seeing? And then obviously the validation makes a big point too.
Yeah.
And early on in our conversations, it's less the audit and it's more how we talk about the audit. And I think, when we started talking about the audit, it was like, okay, we're seeing the same things, we're speaking the same language. The opportunities that I see for us to do, you guys identified right away and had an action plan behind it. And, ideas are awesome, but execution is worshipped. And we were able to take that audit and turn it into an execution plan, which is really important to me.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Take me through, that first month of execution, right? I think for a lot of brands, and you're very intentional with the way that we communicate through email and SMS, and for our team, we want to make sure that we, are aligned in that, first month and engaging. Talk to me about, that initial onboarding experience, connecting with our team, and how that initial, start went for you.
Fairly strong. I would say we hit 2 out of 3.
Hmm.
So we had Let me talk. I'll talk about the two that were really strong. So, when I came on board, the intent there was we were going to do email, we were going to do paid ads, and then it was going to be like UGC and creative as well. Email, pretty smooth. And I think everybody understood. I had the opportunity to meet a lot of the players, which was really important to me.
Hmm.
And I recognize that's because I'm a hands-on individual when it comes to as a business owner. But that's because the brand is really delicate in a very positive way. That's why I say like when you're on this hill, if you fall, you're gonna get some bumps and scrapes. But when you're on a mountain, man, that fall hurts more. And
Sure,
and the
sure.
brand was starting to grow, so it was kind of a mountain. So understanding the who is behind a lot of the things that we're putting in front of our customers was really important. And I had the opportunity to meet the team early on. So from an onboarding perspective, I think we all came to the realization right away that we already kind of had a sports car. We just needed a driver. Like we
Yep.
weren't trying to build something new that didn't exist. The account was incredibly healthy. CSAT scores are through the roof, positive, and just the overall brand was in a position where it was ripe and just ready to take advantage of. And so it was kind of that starting on third base, so to speak. But having the right driver, we didn't want somebody to drive this Maserati off the road. And
Yeah.
and so the people behind it that we were going to put in the driver's seat, because we were able to have ongoing dialogue often and early, the challenges were less about what do we do to fix things because nothing was broken.
Hmm.
What do we do to take advantage of what we have? And how do we quickly create an understanding of what the brand identity and the brand voice and the brand aesthetic is? And
Yeah.
that, I mean, frankly speaking, in the world that we live in, that can take months. We were able to accelerate that to, I would say, weeks
Yeah.
because the people on the other end are really good at what they do, and I had an understanding of what the vision should be. And
Mhm.
so combining those two, we were able to accelerate that pretty quickly for email. So email kind of off and running as quick as anybody could have expected. On the ad side, again, the ad accounts were healthy. So it was really just kind of transitioning and moving that over. No major bumps, but because it was already healthy, it's
Yeah.
hard to really look at the ads and say, oh man, we took it from here to here. It was
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
we knew we were ready to scale. And
Yeah.
it was just a matter of implementing what, scaling techniques were at play. And so far, so good. Like that's a no problem is a good place to be.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
and that's kind of where we are with the ads. The UGC was probably just the slowest one to get up and running. We
Sure.
just missed expectations there,
Hmm.
but that's just such a different beast and an animal in its own right that we feel confident that we'll right that ship.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Right. And we're totally a no BS mentality here. I think when we, especially in the first month, like we like to tell a lot of our partners, like, please hurt our feelings. Like we want to get on the right track as soon as possible. And, if anything is off, like we want to, get on the right track. And like you said, sometimes we don't want it to take, months and months and months to understand your brand. And every brand comes with their own nuances and the way they want to communicate. And like I said, you're very intentional with that. And so I'm glad that we're able to, come on, and it wasn't a, crazy transition. A lot of people, are worried that, oh, if I switch over, like, we're going to have like months of like lagging and transition period there. But yeah, I feel like we were able to get the ball moving quite fast, and then really heading into the Q4 period, which we're kind of at the tail end of. Talk to me about, the last month, the Black Friday, Cyber Monday execution specifically,
Yep.
and how your experience has been, over the last like 45 days.
It's hard to really speak to the experience because it's been bang, 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 one after another.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm sure when I get to the end of January, I'll be able to look back and reflect.
yeah.
Just because there's just so many things happening at once. I'm a firm believer that none of these capabilities are what's going to carry the brand, right? The tide rises with the entire ecosystem.
Hmm.
And I think you kind of called it out. I'm very intentional with our vision and the direction and the strategy that we're implementing. And so when I think there's some brands that are going to try to throw 10 things out there, 10 initiatives, and hope two or three hit.
Hmm.
I was throwing out 10, knowing 8 were going to hit. And so
Yeah.
our email, so all around the same time is leading up into this. My product, the actual caps themselves, the design has been improved, packaging is improved. I redid the design on the website, improved product imagery, improved what we're doing on the social media side from a graphic design perspective. And then we introduce you guys and what you're able to do from an email perspective, not only with the campaign design, very specific to Black Friday, it kind of had its own feel,
Hmm.
but also the flows that we were able to introduce. Like the flows and the emails are only as good as the landing pages and the website, which is only as good as the product that they're going to get in the mail in terms of retention and coming back. All of those things we were able to elevate to the right spot at the right time. And I think
Hmm.
that's kind of what we saw was a lot of complementing capabilities hitting their stride at, all at the same time. And
Yeah.
what we were able to do with you from the ads to the email was spot on. We didn't miss anything, I don't think. Like there's so much happening at once.
Yeah. Yeah.
But our messaging was good and well received by our customers.
Yeah.
From visual appeal to um, ease of discovery and shopping and checking out, all the way to the messaging and the content that they actually got, and the offer that we were to put in front of them. The customer feedback has been, I couldn't ask for anything better. Like I don't think there is any room to get that better, which is
Yeah.
strange because there's always room to improve.
Hmm.
It's strong right now, and that's a testament to all of the partners.
Yeah, for sure. No, I think at that next stage of growth for you, I know this is definitely prevalent in our initial conversations, was that like everything does work together. Like a lot of brands get too siloed with their approach, and sometimes even if you're doing stuff in house or you're working with multiple agencies, trying to tie together the ads and the creative and the email, especially through periods like Black Friday, it can be, a lot to manage, especially as a, one man show like yourself that's juggling a lot of things. So how has like maybe our team and maybe alleviated your workload and try to kind of mitigate some of the, responsibilities on your plate to help you stay in your zone of genius and be the true, founder and visionary for this brand?
Yeah, the biggest one's a design. Just because I wasn't hitting the mark on what the aesthetics and the look and the feel and that brand identity wasn't coming through previous email teams. And I don't want to say the ads team because I was doing the ad design before. So
Okay.
now
Yep.
being able to offload by and large, most of the ad design, that to me is a huge lift because it's just hours, right, that I get
Yeah.
back. And on the email front, I was supplementing some of the email designs, and so now I'm able to step away from that.
Yeah.
We're still bringing to the forefront um, campaign ideals or like, hey, this is what we're designing for hero images on the website, or if we're coming out with a new cap, this is kind of the overarching feel. And we pass that along, but your team's able to take that and use that as directional guidance and put together email campaigns that are going to fit that overarching campaign feel. That in itself gives me hours back.
Yeah.
I would say the better part of an entire day that I actually get back.
Yeah.
It's funny though, like it's not a position where, oh, now I have a day to do all these other things or relax. It's
Yeah.
actually, no,
Yeah.
now I can get to other things that I just wasn't able to get to before, which
Hmm.
makes it stronger because now I'm actually able to support the email team because I'm able to dedicate more time towards X, Y, and Z, which supports what we're doing on the email side or the ad side, such as like we just shot a commercial. Um,
Hmm.
and I wouldn't have had the bandwidth to do what we were able to do with that commercial shoot. But the fact that now we have that content that we're able to put into paid advertising and reap the rewards pretty quickly,
Yeah.
just to get the brand out in front of people more than ever
Yeah.
before.
Totally. Totally. No, that's awesome to hear. And I want to take us to about a couple weeks back. I think there was
Yeah.
the fun. There's a great message that we saw. I think you might
Yeah.
know what I'm talking about. But you
Yes.
were very excited to hit a big milestone for the
Yeah,
business, and we got
yeah.
excited. You had a bottle of champagne ready to go. Take me back to those moments and that experience through the Black Friday period, and that milestone we were able to achieve.
Yeah, that like honestly, I look back so Peaky Hat's been around for 3 years.
Hmm.
So it's, by all means it's still very immature in
Hmm.
terms of where we are. It's a low ticket item. I don't sell anything over $100, and everything is very transactional. It's just caps. And so in the first 3 years, there were a couple milestones that I think any business owner would love to hit. But to be able to do it with profitability versus like you could outspend your revenue.
Sure.
Like I said, I joke, like anybody can generate $1 million if you spend $2 million to get,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
that's not the objective. You really gotta make sure that you have overarching business health. In 2025, I had a pretty good feeling early on that Peaky Hat might hit $1 million in revenue.
Mm.
And I thought it would come probably mid-December.
Hmm.
But through the fruits of our labor and all these things that we were doing to position ourselves leading up to Black Friday, and not just Black Friday, frankly, it was September, and we do the month of Peaky in September, and then
Yep.
October is Halloween. Like there's a lot of stuff that we were building up to that, and it just so happened to be around the Black Friday time was when we hit that milestone. I was just lucky that it happened on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any
You're
other
ready.
day, any other day of the calendar, I would have been on a call doing something else, and it just kind of would have passed, and I'd have been like, "All right, that's awesome," and maybe like 11:30 at night, been able to step back and do it. But because it was on Thanksgiving Day, we weren't doing anything. I was at home with my family. My wife wasn't working, my kids were around, and I didn't have other scheduled meetings. And so
Mhm.
we were actually able to take a minute and pause and watch the revenue like hit the dashboard, which was a cool
Yeah.
moment. Like I get it. Like for other brands, that may not be a huge one, but for me, that was a milestone that I wanted to hit before year five. And so to hit
Yeah.
it in year three and to hit it a month ahead of schedule with the year was pretty satisfying to say the
Yeah.
least.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Yeah, you're in probably a relaxed mindset, refreshing the Shopify, probably
Yeah,
already drinking a little bit or whatever, celebrating the holidays. So no, I love that. And I love
it
the
couldn't have
pictures you
happened on a
shared.
better day.
It was
It-
yeah. You're probably like grinding, in the midst of juggling a million things. So
yes.
I'm glad you saw that
And
live.
honestly, like for it to happen on Thanksgiving Day was serendipitous because and it's genuine. Like I am so grateful that I get to do what I love to do.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't get to say that. I genuinely love being behind this brand, and I've started to kind of use this phrase. I love what we do, I love how we do it, and I love who we do it for.
Mhm.
Without this community that we have that supports Peaky Hat, and that's not just our customers, that's also our partners, yourself included, my friends and family member around me. Like without that entire community of people that support this brand, I don't get to do what I love to do.
Right.
So for me to hit a milestone that was that meaningful to me on a day that is focused on giving thanks,
Mhm.
couldn't have been a better moment.
I love it. No, that's fantastic. I love that story. That got us all fired up when we saw those pictures come in. That's awesome. So I know we're heading to December. Obviously, we still got plenty more work to do, plenty more milestones to achieve. But
Yeah.
no, super happy with the performance and seeing those results you've been able to achieve with the brand. I guess if you're what would you say to someone who's maybe was in your shoes and maybe considering working with us with our team? What would you say to them?
Yeah, a lot of things, right? I would say you always, no matter what agency you're going to choose, you want to proceed with caution and you need to make
Hmm.
sure it's the right fit. I'm a firm believer, get the right people on the bus and then figure out where they sit later. What worked for me, and I recognize it may not work for everybody, is the people on that side. resonated with me, what my objective was, and genuinely care in the success of the brand. Once you have that, then you can bring their expertise to the forefront,
Hmm.
and that's where it shines. And I have that. So if there is anybody that's out there on the fence or evaluating or looking, I would say have those conversations and don't be afraid to have the second conversation, the third conversation, the fourth conversation, because I think every
Hmm.
time we had the opportunity to discuss, it felt like the right fit.
Yeah.
And once we pulled that trigger, the expertise is there, bar none.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Yeah, I think I hear this a lot. Obviously, you can jump on calls with agencies and they have the big case studies or they have the reputation, but it's like, does it actually work for your brand? Because every brand is different.
Yeah.
And will those same individuals be on your account, and will those people truly care about your brand? And I'm very happy to hear that you felt that way. That not only was there the expertise, but that we focused and cared for your success.
Yeah, and I think
Um,
probably the most valuable thing I can share in that line, I don't have an email guy, I don't have an ads guy, I don't have an account manager. It's Alex, it's X,
mhm.
it's Rishi. Like they are people, human beings who I've been able to connect with.
Yeah,
And it makes that relationship not only stronger, but we're able to work together to strengthen the entire ecosystem, which is what any business owner should strive for, expect, and be happy
yeah,
to have when they're working with a team like yours.
absolutely. No, I really appreciate that. As we wrap this up, what does the future of Peaky look like? What are your big goals for 2026? And I know you got some big initiatives going on. So what does the future look like for
Yeah,
you?
we do. So some of the things I can talk about, some of the things I can't.
Yeah, yeah.
It, when I started down this path with Peaky Hat, I kind of had this 5-year vision.
Hmm.
I'm just now wrapping up year three, and I would say I'm ahead of schedule,
Nice.
which is awesome. And when I say ahead of schedule, I don't mean necessarily revenue. I just mean in some of those things that I wanted to do to build the brand to meet those three pillars that we're doing. I feel really good that we are maintaining the right focus. 2026 is going to be a huge year for Peaky Hat. The best is yet to come. Like I
Hmm.
love where we are and what we've been able to do in the last, 6 to 12 months. But man, the next 12 months are going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of big initiatives that are going to put, I think, Peaky Hat on the map in a couple different areas as we lean into some initiatives that are really exciting. And it's going to start in January, like where there is no slowing down,
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
being
yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
But the future is not only bright, but it's exciting. And hopefully, when we exit 2026, the Peaky Hat community of partners, family, and customer base, that entire Peaky Nation, is able to look back and say, yeah, they nailed it.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Awesome. Well, thank you, Ryan, for your time. I really appreciate it. We're fired up to keep this momentum rolling and
Absolutely.
continue next year in 2026.
Yeah. Thank you for being a part of it.
For sure. Awesome. Awesome.